Welcome to the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship post-game press conference featuring BYU. We'll first hear from Shaylee Gonzalez, followed by head coach Jeff Judkins. We're now joined by Shaylee Gonzalez, and we'll begin the press conference. Use your raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. Just a reminder that the student athletes and coaches cannot see you, so it's important that you state your name and affiliation first. We'll open it up to questions for Shaylee. First, we're going to go to Darnell Dixon.
Hey, Shaylee, tell us about the comeback there in the fourth quarter. What did you guys do to really come back? You're down 9 to start the fourth and down by 12 in the third. So what was the key to getting that comeback?
Yeah, I mean, we all just came together as a team and we told each other that we're going to win this game, that we're not letting back, and that we needed to fight. We came together and told ourselves that we needed to pick up our defense and then transition into offense. You know, they weren't doing very well transitionally, so we knew that we needed to push it. And we just told each other that we all have each other's backs. You know, if I'm not having my night, I know Paisley will step up. If Paisley's not having her night, I'll step up. So we're very deep, and I know I can count on every single one of them.
Next, we'll go to Norma Gonzalez.
Hey, Shaylee, sort of piggybacking off of Darnell, the part of what helped that comeback in the fourth quarter was that you went 6 of 7 from the free throw line within those last 30 seconds. What do you have to say just about the way you were able to really provide for your team when they needed you most?
It all comes with confidence. I got up to that line and I told myself that I was making those shots and that those shots were big time and I needed to make all those to win the game. And I mean, I wouldn't have done it without my teammates. Paisley passed a great pass to me in that out of bounds play, and I just threw it up hoping it would go in, but then I got the call and stepped up and made my free throws.
We'll go to Sean Walker, KSL.
Hey, Paisley. Sorry, Shaylee. You can tell where my mind is right now, I guess.
You're good.
Kind of on that note, was there ever a point in this game where you kind of just stepped back and looked at Paige and went, okay, you go, girl, like, get after this today?
Yeah, definitely. I was like, dang, Paige, you go off, girl. She was doing awesome, and I'm so proud of her, so proud of her. She really stepped it up when we needed her the most, and I'm just so proud of her. It was a team effort, and we got each other open, and Tegan stepped up 3-pointers, Kaylee stepped up 3-pointers, and Lo got great rebounds. It was a team effort tonight, and I'm super proud of all of them.
We'll go to Jay Drew next.
Hey, Shaylee, how motivated were you guys by some critics saying that maybe you didn't belong in the tournament? You were the last team in. Other teams might have been more deserving.
Yeah, I mean, that championship game with Gonzaga, we had that game. We knew that we won that game. The 0.6 seconds, that was just devastating for us and very frustrating, that game winner. But we knew coming in at selection day that we either were going to make it into the NCAA tournament or that we were going to make the NIT and we were going to win the whole NIT. And so just coming into the NCAA tournament, we just wanted to prove ourselves and to everyone, to the nation, that we're going to fight and not let down and that we deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. And we just showed that today.
We'll go back to Darnell Dixon. Darnell, you're on mute.
Sorry, I couldn't find my cursor. So, Shaylee, what does it mean to you and your team to be able to advance in this tournament?
We are just so excited and so blessed, so thankful to be in the NCAA tournament and to be with this team. We are not letting down. We're going to go into the next game and have the attitude that we're winning and we're not letting down. And I'm super excited to play whoever it is on Wednesday.
We'll go back to Norma Gonzalez.
Shaylee, did you feel like a sense of deja vu in those that like when it was 0.9 and then they changed it to like 1.6 or whatever it was? Did you kind of feel like, oh my God, this can't happen again. We can't lose a game by a game-winning shot? And just like, talk me through that.
Yeah, I got my teammates and I told them, I was like, we're not having another game like Gonzaga. Like, I literally thought of the Gonzaga game. I was like, there's no way. We need to play defense. We're not letting them win by a game winner shot. We need to focus and buckle down.
Shaylee, you all were down as many as 12 and went on a 12-0 run to take the lead in the fourth. What was the difference during that stretch?
I mean, just our defense. You know, we stepped up and we told each other that we were going to pick it up and that we weren't going to lose that game, and it was super important for us. And our coaches did a very good job at coaching us and telling us what to do, setting us up. Coming into this game, we knew that they were going to press us hard and that we weren't going to let that affect our game. So we slowed it down, we took care of the ball, and we did a great job at that.
We'll go to Sean Walker.
Yeah, kind of similar to that, Shay. But once you took that lead there late, I think it was your first lead. It's definitely your first lead of the second half, and maybe since earlier. But you guys didn't take your foot off the gas after that. It's almost like you weren't done once you took that lead. Just what was kind of that mentality to sort of keep your foot on the gas and keep going and not just be happy that, hey, we took the lead in the fourth quarter against a really good Rutgers team?
Yeah, I just thought of the Gonzaga game as well. You know, we were up like 10 or 12 in that game, and I just thought that we can't let them come back in this game. Once we're up, we got to keep pushing. Good teams don't let teams come back and take over. So we totally took control of that game, and super proud of my team and how we handled that game.
Shaylee, thank you for your time and best of luck in the next round.
Thank
We'll
you guys so much.
momentarily by head coach Jeff Judkins. Please use this time to raise or lower your hand accordingly. We'll now begin with an opening statement from head coach Jeff Judkins, and then we'll go to questions. Coach?
Okay, thank you. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Rutgers. They have a really, really good team. I think this is the best team we've played all year. They are very well coached and very disciplined in what they do. And just tonight, the ball bounced our way, especially at the end. And I think that's what basketball is so much about, especially in the NCAA tournament. The ball can bounce your way and makes a big difference. And you probably noticed in the whole tournament, when the top seed, the game's close to the end, it's a lot more pressure on them, more than the underdog. And I think that's what happened a little bit tonight.
Go for our first question to Darnell Dixon.
Yeah, Jeff, you watch Paisley play all the time, so you're probably not surprised, but she stepped up really big today. What was her mentality, do you think, coming into this game?
Well, she was guarding their best player, who probably is one of the top players in the country. And I think that motivated Paisley. And if you know Paisley, she's very competitive. She's been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. And she's a lot quicker than she looks. People don't give her enough credit for her athleticism and what she can do. And I thought today she got to the basket really good for us and caused a lot of problems. She was kind of the person that we went to when we needed a basket, when it went bad. And she came through. I mean, she's just aggressive, tough kid. And, she got her 2 fouls. I've done this a whole year. I've played her with 2 fouls sometimes in games for this reason. So you get in the tournament, that it's not something new. But I thought she did a great job of managing that. And, Paisley is excited to be here. She knows how hard it is to come to the NCAA tournament. And so she made the most of it, that's for sure.
Go to Lindsay Schnell.
Hey, Jeff, congratulations. There's been so much talk the last couple years about growing parity in the women's game. Obviously, you guys pulled a first upset of the tournament this year. I was curious, how important has the rise of mid-majors been in that conversation about growing parity, do you think, and closing the gap between Power 5?
I'm going to tell you right now, I've been coaching for 20 years, and I think what you just said has gotten a lot better. Every year seems to be a little bit more where the women are getting more respect for the game. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of really good coaches in the women's game, and I've been coaching the men for 10 years, and I've gone against some of the best, Rick Pitino, Bobby Knight, and some of these women that I've coached against are as good or better of what they prepare their team for. And it's just exciting for us to get this exposure for the women's basketball, especially to be able to play a really good team like Rutgers and be able to perform to our best is just something that hopefully we can use a long way for our program, but for a lot of programs. So it's getting a lot better. I think it will continue to keep better because the girls, the good teams, the players don't leave and go to the WNBA. They stay for 3 or 4 years, and that makes teams very, very good. And you can see that with the last few years.
We'll go to Sean Walker of KSL.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Paisley and how just absolutely nailed she was offensively, and I don't want to take anything away from that. But I thought she was really big defensively, and you and I both know how good she is at taking charges. It seems like she really just exploited that skill today. I think she was the one who got the third foul on Tia and kind of forced her to the bench and that kind of thing. Just how good is she defensively? And is that a skill, being able to take a charge that
Yes.
she works on and that she can practice?
Yeah, I wish I could get all my players to do what she does, read it and do it. She's an unbelievable defensive player as well as offense and a very complete player. And when she came to BYU, that was something that we talked about and that I challenged her to be not just a good offensive player, but be one of the best defenders. And I think she had to prove it tonight. She guarded the best player on the team, probably the best player on the floor. And, she didn't hold her down. She scored her points, but she had to work for them. She had to, I kind of gave her a little scenario of my days in the NBA, and I said, I had to guard a guy like George Gervin who you couldn't stop. And I said, you can't stop him, but maybe just make him work hard. Make him work for every point. And I thought Paisley did a good job with that tonight. And offensively, she's a handful. If you try to guard her one-on-one, she's gifted enough and crafty enough to get around you and be able to make those plays. But I'm happy for her because, this season's been sometimes it's been hard for her. She hasn't played as well as she wanted. So she seems to step it up. Big games, But the thing that was nice tonight is right at the end, every player on the floor made a play that helped the team win. Tegan hit a three-pointer. Lauren gets offensive rebounder. Shaylee gets fouled, makes foul shots. Paisley hits the three-pointer. Smither hits one. Defensively, we deflect it. I mean, just those things is what this team's all about. And, that's what makes, as a coach, that's what makes it exciting and happy for you.
We'll go to Norma Gonzalez, the Salt Lake Tribune.
Hey, Coach, I'm currently keeping an eye on the Arizona Stony Brook game. Arizona's up 38-15 with 3.5 minutes left in the first half. It seems like the Wildcats are bound to move on to the second round, which means you'll have to face them. What do you know about them? How will you be preparing? And just sort of walk me through how you plan to take them on.
Well, first of all, they have an All-American point guard that creates and is a jet, and we're going to have to try to slow her down a little bit. I don't know how. It'll probably be getting back and trying to build a wall and not let her penetrate. But they also have a lot of good around players that just kind of do their role, and last year McDonald had to do a lot on her own. This year, a lot of the other players have really stepped it up. Defensively, they're pressuring, very similar to what Rutgers. I think they're just as athletic or maybe more athletic. So it'll be a challenge, especially with only really a day and a half to prepare. But they're going to have to prepare for us too. They're going to have to do some things to try to guard us. And this is what makes it so exciting. I've watched Arizona a lot because I'm kind of a junkie and I watch a lot of games. I don't know them really what they run, but I do know the kind of style that they play, and we're looking forward to that.
Go back to Lindsay Schnell of the USA Today.
Hey, Jeff, I just want to follow up on what you said. I think you bring up a great point about, kids staying and you have veteran leadership on teams. Do you think that it helps? Do you find that players aren't transferring as much at mid-major levels as we see, at the Power Five? Like maybe a great player at a mid-major school will go up to a Power Five, but there's not as much back and forth around the mid-major level, if that makes sense.
Well, yes, I'm praying with all my heart that Shaylee Gonzalez doesn't think about going somewhere. I hope she stays here. So I think a lot of the mid-major programs have got really good coaches, and I think the coaches have a really good relationship with their players. And if you know anything about women's basketball, the chemistry and all the little things of cheering together and doing everything together is a real big deal to them. And so I think a lot of the mid-majors, we do a good job with that. Plus, I think we get exposure more than we used to. I mean, we're on TV almost every home game. We get on some other games. So I think it's just the whole program in women's basketball to me is just getting better. Now, would it be nice to have some of these teams when a kid's a really good player go to the WNBA the first year? Yeah, it would make it nice. But I really believe this. I believe women's basketball has gotten a lot better because not so many players are jumping and going to the WNBA. They're sticking it out, getting their education and doing it. I think our game today, like with Rutgers, I mean, I don't know her name. I was 24, but she is a really, really good player. She could have left last year and played in the WNBA, but she wanted to carry her team and do what she needed to do, and that's where they all are, and that's what makes it so exciting.
Go to Darnell Dixon.
Now, Jeff, when we were talking to Shaylee, she said, we asked her about the comeback in the fourth quarter, and she said, we just told ourselves we weren't going to lose. How much do you depend on those girls to motivate themselves and dig down deep? How much do you have to tell them in a situation like that?
Not too much. It's kind of what Shaylee said. They huddled around each other, and you could tell they said, hey, we're all right. Let's just cut back. When we were down 12, I called a timeout. And I told the team, I said, look, we're not going to get this back in one shot. Let's see if we can cut it to 7 by the fourth quarter. And we did that. And then I think what happened, we came in and we made some stops. And then some kids hit some big shots when they needed to. And, as a coach, I've been around them a lot. I know when they're really focused and when they're really confident. And I could just tell that tonight. I could tell in that timeout that they were very, very confident knowing they could come back.
Coach, thank you for your time and good luck in the next round.
Hey, thank you very much.
That's it for today's news conference. A recording of the press conference will be available on the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thanks for joining us.